Please come on in. Welcome to the President's Office.
My day started off with a meeting with Ms. Una Dyer, who's the Director of Presidential Operations for the University of the Virgin Islands. In this meeting, she basically went over my agenda and making sure that it is set and ready to roll with the day. After then, I went to the St. Croix Presidential Advisory meeting where I initially started off with my advocacy points. Out of that meeting resulted in lamenting on the issue of students and professors taking fire alarms for granted. We never know when it is a serious alarm. So even if it's a false alarm, I advocated that professors need to let students out, even if it is a false alarm. And if it's anything, call them back in.
Well, what this program teaches students is that at the University of the Virgin Islands, you can get some unique opportunities. And what Dwane was able to do and what students in prior years have been able to do through this program is something that you don't get other places. I mean, we're one of the few institutions that have a President for a Day program. And I have to believe that Dwane has learned some things in that day that will help shape his future.
Being the president of the day, it was an exceptional opportunity offered by the University of the Virgin Islands. It gives students a platform to advocate for things they need to see changed and provide suggestions and way forward for the university to propel. As for me, the feeling was amazing. It was exciting. It required some preparation and due diligence. So for me, it was really an awesome and amazing experience.
Well, my day as a student on the Albert A. Sheen Campus started out in student affairs. I had to work in student affairs in the morning. It was a wonderful experience. I got a chance to work with the staff there to make student IDs. We had quite a number of students who came in needing IDs, and so I was trained to run the ID machine. And some of us in the roles that we're in never get to do those things, and we forget, one, how important they are, and second, how you got to use some different skills. So I'd never run an ID machine, and so taking a student's picture, getting information from them, putting the information together in a format that I could print out their ID was stretching myself, learning to do some things that normally I wouldn't. Even transferring calls. I was the receptionist. Student Affairs, how can I help you? Good morning. Yes. Wonderful. And is there anything? So I had to transfer calls from one place to another. I have calls transferred into me every day, but I'm not transferring calls. So it gets you to stretch yourself and do some other things.
Basically, part of your role is to recruit and create awareness for TMCF on the campus. And I have the package right here in this office.
Spent time in front of the cafeteria passing out materials for the Thurgood Marshall program, getting students to sign up, making them aware of scholarships, internships. We had quite a number of students in the 30 minutes that I was there to sign up for the program. Passed out a lot of materials, so hopefully students will take advantage of that.
He was rewarded with the Leadership Award last year at the Leadership Institute. So it was very interesting to see him recruit students to attend this Leadership Institute the following year.
Do you know about Thurgood Marshall?
No, what is Thurgood Marshall?
It is a fantastic organization.
And what I realized sitting there at the table is that there are a lot of students on campus who didn't know about this program. And even though we've been promoting it even though it's been something where we send students every year, and I mean large numbers of students, sometimes 15, 13 students go to Washington for the Institute, that there are a number of students, because out of the 13 or 14 students who signed up in the 30 minutes that I was there, I would say the vast majority of them had not heard of it.
I personally did not anticipate a back-to-back day. Obviously I missed lunch because as you heard, I never mentioned anything about lunch. I anticipated a full day, but I did not anticipate a back-to-back day.
I had to go to a meeting of the St. Kitts Nevis Student Association.
They're an organization that really focuses on cultural retention here on the campus, which I believe is a critical part of the university. It's in our logo. We're uniquely Caribbean. So as such, the organization strives on cultural retention here on campus.
I also attended a portion of Student Government Association meeting.
One of the major things that the students were engaged in was the conference, the LEAD 365 conference that they went to Florida to participate in. Immediately after that meeting, I went straight into a cabinet meeting with all the cabinet members from the St. Croix campus and the St. Thomas campus. Here I focus mainly on the WOW program, which is the customer service assessment program that is in place.
And after there, I had one of the highlights of the day. I went to the Student Activities Center, played ping pong, played pool, hung out with the students, engaged in the mannequin challenge that was being done in the Student Activities Center. I'm looking forward to seeing that video.
Also, I'm always on campus, so seeing him in the student lounge, engaging in the mannequin challenge, engaging in conversation, dominoes, everything. So I know he had an eventful day.
I'm real proud of the fact that I beat the president of the Student Government Association in pool. She has scars all over her for how bad I beat her, and I know she wants to get back at me, but she'll have to wait a year until I become a student again. So I can say in general that the president for a day when he is a student has a very long and engaged day.
Sometimes I do get tired myself, and when I reach home at night, school books is the last thing I want to see on a Monday and Wednesday night. Was I certain that he was prepared for my late classes? Because I have classes from 5:30 right down to 9:45. So that was interesting to see if he was ready to sit in classes back to back. And 2 of my classes had the same professor, so he would be hearing one voice for over 2 hours. So that would have been interesting to see if he can sit and listen to one professor for over 2 hours.
I wasn't prepared for business calculus, but it was a wonderful class. I learned a lot, and you need to be in that class in order to really know what's going on. I was, I think, much more engaged in the other 2 classes because they were dealing with subject matters that I was much more familiar with and something I deal with on a daily basis.
Most people would believe that when given this role, they would teach you and they would coach you and prepare you for the day. I'm here to dismiss that.
Because it's not just doing it by reading. It's not just doing it by being involved in another type of student organization. You're being elevated to the highest level of the organization from an organizational structure standpoint, and you're being asked to perform with very little preparation. And, it's sort of like being thrown in and saying swim.
And so we are truly honored. I would like to call to the podium Mr. President Hendrickson. Please welcome him with a hearty welcome.
So he actually took the role very, very seriously. And I didn't get a chance to observe him at the CES Computer Science graduation program, but speaking to Mr. Clavier, who pulls that together, he was very impressed with how Dwane conducted himself. And Mr. Clavier said, I don't know if we need that other president. This guy is doing pretty good. So Dwane may have put me out of a job. So I, from all I've heard, he was very impressive.
He would agree. You did an excellent job. We're not going to say that we don't miss him, but you did an excellent job.
And my final thank yous to Dr. David Hall. Thank you for filling my role as a student for the day.
Don't you ever come to my office again talking about Dwane Hendrickson is the president. I am the president, not Dwane. Bye. You weren't expecting that, were you?